Good morning and welcome to C3. My name's Alicia Miller. I am our Cross Kids director here, and we are so excited that you have joined us for Family Fun Day Sunday. I hope you got some cool face paint. I hope you had some fun, or had some great ice cream and some fun playing the games. But I just want to start off by talking about how, when my kids were little, parenting was exhausting. Like, I was constantly cleaning up messes. I was like dodging little Lego landmines all over the floor, just trying to keep kids alive, keeping them from licking electrical sockets or something throughout the day. Like, we just wanted to get through the days when they were little. And I was like, oh, it's going to be fine, because as they get older, it's going to get easier. Joke's on me. It has just gotten way more confusing and way more expensive. So I say this all the time to my friends and my family, like, parenting teenagers is hard. And then when they hit their 20s and they're not kids and they're not teenagers, but they're not really adults, man, that's even harder. And we have some that are in her 20s. Actually, our oldest daughter, she's 23, going to be 24, and she's actually expecting her own child. So I'm going to be a Gigi. Yay for that, right? But thank you. But yeah, so it even with her getting ready to have her own baby, it doesn't get any easier, because I'm trying to figure out where's the instruction manual for me to look at to say, how can I give words of wisdom or advice that doesn't sound like I'm trying to control them? Or what about letting go, letting them have freedom, but still checking Life 360 all day long like it's a full-time job? Yeah, so honestly, I miss the days when my kids were little and the biggest thing that I had to worry about was a toddler meltdown in Walmart or teaching them their ABCs. So I thought, you know what, let's take a throwback. Let's talk about our ABCs today of parenting made simple. Okay, what letter is this? A, good job. So A, affection builds connection. In Mark 10, it says, people were bringing little children to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. And he took the children in his arms, placed his hands on them, and blessed them. Guys, Jesus didn't just tolerate children. Jesus loved children. Jesus gave them affection. Jesus blessed them. He wanted to be a part of their lives. I was reading an article not too long ago that said that research shows that children who receive regular affection from their caregivers, parents, teachers, guardians, anybody that is regularly in their lives, they are 70% less likely to suffer from depression or behavioral disorders. Now, I am no mathematician, but I know that if 70% higher just to show children love and affection and that you care about them versus children who don't receive that regularly, that's a pretty drastic difference there. Because our kids have to deal with a lot of things in today's society that makes it hard. It makes it hard to deal. So just being there with them, just showing them, in fact, just giving them what they need and letting them know that we love them changes their world. Obviously, we love our kids and we give them affection, but there are some times when kids need discipline, right? We have to discipline our kids. But affection still speaks louder than correction. So even when discipline is necessary, affection should still be consistent. Now, growing up, me and my siblings, we were in trouble all the time. We were knuckleheads. We were stupid. We made bad decisions. We just done things that didn't make any sense. So we would get in trouble. But something that my mom and dad always did is, after we were punished or before we went to bed that night, they would come to us and they would be like, there are consequences for your actions. But we just want you to know that we forgive you and we love you. And we can put that behind us. We don't have to think about it anymore. It's done. It's finished. So after I married my husband and we had our own children, that's something that we also prioritize in our family, because we also have 4 kids who are knuckleheads and who get in trouble and who do stupid things. And so that is one thing that we make sure to prioritize with them, to let them know we love, consequences for your actions, but we love you. We forgive you. It's all behind us. And you don't have to look back at it anymore. Jesus looks at us exactly the same way. Jesus loves us, he forgives us, and we don't ever have to pick that up again. Jesus gives us the same affection that we should be modeling to our children. So affection says, you are safe, you are loved, and I'm not going anywhere. Before we move on to letter B, we're going to play a fun game. So it is called What's Underwear? Underwear. I'm like a 13-year-old boy. Okay, so what this game is there's an object, it's under a cup or some chicken or whatever's under there, and it's going to move around. You want to keep your eyes on the object, and then I want you to scream out what number it's under, 1, 2, or 3. You guys ready? Yeah. All right. Let's go to round 1. It's a chicken on an egg. Where's it at? Is it 1? Okay. Katie said 1. I'm terrible at this game. I lose it like the first switch around. All right, round 2. Watch closely. Where's it at? All right. Zoe says 2. All right. Let's see. 3 again. We're not very good at this. All right, where's it at? 1, it's on 1, 2, 3. All right. And it's on number 2. All right, guys, that was fun. We're not very good at it. My ADHD, I can't keep up. It's just too much for me. All right, so we're going to move on to letter B. That's right. Be present with your time. In Mark 10, again, it says, let the little children come to me and do not hinder them. So time is the currency of relationships, and our kids are watching how we spend it. I'm going to say that again. Time is the currency of relationships, and our kids are watching how we spend it. Jesus was never too busy for children. He stopped, he listened, he made time for them, and when others tried to brush them away, shoo them off, tell them to go, Jesus prioritized them. In our culture today, it tells us that we need to make kids happy with stuff. We got to give them things. They need all kinds of stuff. And I'm all about give the kids the iPad while I'm trying to get something done. It's kids need that. They need creativity. They need things. They need stuff to keep their minds busy. But just to give you a little real life example of why kids need their parents' time and presence. Right before Easter, I started videoing the Mother's Day videos with the kids and asking them questions. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I just want you guys to know that not one time did your kids say, I love it when my mom gives me stuff, or game systems, or toys, or I love it when my mom and dad are just leave me alone. They never said that. You know what they said? I love it when my mom plays with me. I love it when my mom talks to me. I love it when my mom cuddles with me. I love it when I just love being with my mom. So if that tells you something, that the kids, they don't want presents. They don't want gifts. I mean, I'm sure they do, but they still want your presence. So that being said, we can start making time for things that really matter. Like the kids thrive on routine. Like they love routine, and as much as I probably don't, I'm not great at routine, but kids thrive on it. Bedtime routines. Reading your kids a story, talking to them before bed, praying with them before bed, they thrive on routine. Family dinners. When my kids were little and they were all home, it was a big deal. My husband works out of town, so when he was home, it was like Friday and Saturday, everybody, so I don't care what we're doing, but we are sitting down at that table and we're going to have family dinners together, all 6 of us, and we're going to talk, and it was some of my best memories. And they are few and far between now because, like I said, my kids are getting older and they're moving out. And those are things that I really cherish and I embrace and I really do miss, and it goes by fast. So take time to have those family dinners with your kids. And then the era that we're in right now is the after-school talks. Like Aubrey, she's in 7th grade. She's my daughter, and she hops in that car. And it's the minute that door closes, she's spilling all the middle school tea. I know everything about everybody. I know that Betty broke up with Johnny and Emily's mad at Amy. I know all of the middle school tea. But she tells me this, not because she just wants to be gossiping. It's because it's our time to connect with each other. It's her time to talk to me and let me know what's going on in her life and how she's feeling and how her friends are feeling and how she's worried about this person and she's worried about that person. It's our time to spend together. And then you have Gavin, polar opposite. He's 18, he's getting ready to graduate. So when he would get in the car, picking him up from middle school or whenever, still probably today, but picking him up, I would say, how was school? I would get one-liners. Good. Okay. Anything important going on? Nope. What'd you have for lunch today? I don't remember. There was zero connection, zero conversation. We just weren't connecting at that point. But let me tell you now, he wants to talk to me at 11 o'clock on a random Tuesday when I'm in bed after he's ghosted me all day. But it's fine. I have learned to embrace those moments and talk with my kids. Another thing that the questions that I was asking, how was your day, were just, I needed to ask maybe some more open-ended questions, give them, spark a conversation with them. And something that my friends Cassie and Matt do is they do this thing called high, low, buffalo. So your high is something great, your low is something bad, and your buffalo is something crazy, right? So we started doing this with our kids club kids because we were getting about the same response out of them. How was school? Good. Did you do anything fun today? No, it was boring. It was just, we weren't connecting. So we implemented this high-low buffalo into our routine with them, and guys, because we were giving them the opportunity to share with us what they wanted to, and they were thinking about it. So they would go to school and they would pay attention to things, and then they would come back. And there would be times I'd have to be like, okay, Sebastian, that's enough. We have to move on to Addie so she can tell us how her day was. We created a connection, we sparked conversation, and we were present and gave them our time there. So we cannot do everything. We're not going to be great at everything. We're not going to be perfect. But what we can do is we can be there when they need us. Okay. And before we move on to point C, we're going to play my favorite game. It's my favorite game of the hour. It is Are You Smarter Than a Cross Kid? And I'm going to have Ellen and Keegan Fields come on up. Let me get my little buzzer here. My buzzer that makes no noise. It's broken. Okay. So, come on up. Ellen, I know you love being up here. All right, so you'll stand over here. All right, and Keegan, you're going to stand there, and you guys are going to stand facing each other with your hands on the table, okay? And I'm going to read you a question. Make it even there. Okay, so I'm going to read a question. Let me get through the whole question before you hit the buzzer, okay? All right? I don't trust you. You look suspicious. All right, so let's do our first question here for Are You Smarter Than a Cross Kid? What planet do we live on? Earth. These are hard. Okay. All right. All right, you guys have to help me keep score because, like I said, I'm not good with numbers and I'll forget. So it's 1-0, right? All right, next question. Which punctuation do you see at the end of a question?
Question mark.
A question mark. That's 2 for Keegan. You have to speed up, Ellen. Don't let him beat you. All right, number 3. What is the square root of 81?
9.
It is 9. Congratulations. That's 3-0. Okay. Next. What is the opposite of happy?
Sad.
Oh, she's making a comeback. Okay, woo, good. All right. Question number, is it 5 or 5? All right, question. There are 5 Great Lakes. What color is the sky?
Blue.
Good job. But is that 4-1? Okay. Next question. Which animal is known as king of the jungle?
Lion.
That is correct. He's killing it. He really is. All right. Next question. I don't even think we need to keep score at this point. Next question. What do you call a baby frog? Incorrect. That is correct. What is that? Is that 5-2 now? Okay. All right, next. How many inches are in a foot? 12. That is correct. And that was Ellen. You got that one? You got that one? Okay. All right, what's the score now? 5-3. Okay. Next. What is the plural form of deer? No, doe is incorrect. Deer. Yes. It was a trick question. Plural form. Like
More than one.
more than one. Sorry, that was a trick question.
One deer.
Okay. All right. Next question. How many hours are in a day? Correct. He's killing it. All right. Is this the last question? What is the next question here? Let's see. Oh, there's not a tie, but I just want to say this question anyways. What do you call a cow with no legs?
Ground beef.
Ground beef. That is correct. But Keegan is our winner. Ellen, I'm sorry, you are not smarter than a cross kid. Good job, guys. Thank you. All right. Now we are going to move on to our last letter of the alphabet that we're going to cover today. And we're moving on to letter C. Cheer them on. In Matthew 3:17, it says, "And a voice from heaven said, 'This is my son whom I love. With him I am well pleased.'" So let me give you a little backstory on this. So Jesus goes to John the Baptist and says, tells him he wants to be baptized. At this point, Jesus has not started his ministry. He has not done any miracles. He has not done anything outrageously wild. Doesn't have his crew, doesn't have his 12 guys with him. He's just by himself. And he goes to John. John baptizes him. The heavens open up. The sun beams down on him. The dove ascends. And a voice from heaven says, "This is my son whom I love, and I am pleased." So, as you can see here, God models encouragement for us here because he's not telling Jesus that he loves him and he's proud of him for his performance because Jesus hasn't done anything yet, right? He's just his son. He gives him this encouragement because he just loves him for who he is, for his identity. Kids are bombarded with noise today. Like, that's all they hear. Like, do I have a lot of likes on my TikTok? How many friends want to follow me on Snapchat? Who likes this video? What do I need to wear tomorrow? Is someone not going to like me? Am I not going to be cool enough? Am I not good enough at this sport? Are my friends mad at me? That's a lot of noise that all of our kids have to deal with today. But as parents, we have the ability to silence that noise by speaking truth. So there's two sides of encouragement. It's very broad here. You have flattery, right? Oh, you're so great at everything. You're the best. No one is as good as you. And then there's what I like to call encouragement that may sound like discouragement, and I'm guilty of that sometimes. You can do better. I believe that you can do better. That wasn't really good enough. Try harder. I'm trying to encourage him, right? That doesn't sound too encouraging. My son, he played his last year of football for Boyd County High School this year, and I will be honest, there's been time from the time he was very small up until the beginning of this year, of this football season, that football was not always enjoyable for him, and I didn't let it be, because in my mind, he was going to be a D1 athlete. He was going to get these awesome scholarships. He was great at what he was doing. He just needed to try harder. He needed to be better. He needed to work harder. I knew it was in him. And I would tell him these things, and I would think I was building him up. But all he heard was, I'm not good enough. There's nothing I can do. And he actually said that to me. There's nothing I can do that's good enough for you. So it got to the point that he actually wanted to quit football. He was done this past year, and I was super upset. I talked to my brother who played football his whole life, and he explained to me, you're putting too much pressure on him. Just let him have fun. Just let him play. And then I talked to Trent, and he's like, you are allowing his identity to be found in football. Like when you see Gavin, you are seeing that he needs to be this great athlete, this great football star. He needs to make it big. And that's how Gavin is seeing himself. And he's feeling that he can't do that. That pressure that you've put on him, he can't do it. So after talking with Trent, I went to my son and I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I just want you to go out and I just want you to play. And I just want you to love it. And I don't care how many blocks you miss or how many tackles you don't get. I don't care. I just want you to have fun. I want to see you on the sidelines with your friends. I want you to enjoy your senior year. And guys, let me tell you, when I told him that lifted a weight off him, and that was the best football year he'd ever had. He done amazing. He had fun. He would laugh and he would joke, and he didn't care about anything. And if he missed a tackle, he brushed it off because there was another play right ahead. And then, so that was my encouragement. That comes off as discouragement. And then over here you have flattery. You're so good. You're the best at that. Nobody's better than you. You're going to be able to nobody's going to win that but you. You're going to do the most amazing things because you are at the top. Now, and that sounds good, but in real life, that's not how things really work, though. You're going to have times where you're not the best and you're not the smartest and you don't always win. So either that just goes in one ear or out the other, or we've let our children down real bad when we don't build them up and have them ready for those situations. So there's a sweet spot that's right in the middle. And what we can do with this is we can encourage them by speaking life into what they're doing. Instead of saying, you're so smart, how about, I saw that you worked really, really hard today, and that's really paying off, and I'm really proud of you. We can speak life into what they are doing. Now, my daughter, she works super hard in school. It doesn't come easy for her. She spends a lot of time studying, and there's times, like if she has a test on Monday, I promise you, she's in her room from Wednesday on reading over these notes. It just does not come easy to her. She has put a lot of pressure on herself to do well. She wants to make good grades. And sometimes it works out for her. Most of the time it works out. She gets an A or the grade that she wanted. But there are times when she works really hard that it doesn't work out for her. And instead of me being like, well, probably should have just studied more, or it's okay, like you'll get them next time. That's fine too. But I can speak life into her and say, look, you worked really hard. You put in the work for it. You can keep working hard. You can keep trying. It's okay. So, as we close today, I just want you to know that we're not going to get it all right. We're not. We're going to mess up. I lose my mind. I mess up all the time. But that's okay. Because what our kids need most is not a perfect parent, but a surrendered one. In 2 Corinthians, it says, "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" When we mess up, let's just own it. Let's apologize. Let's let our children see grace in action. We apologize to them when they mess up. They apologize to us when we are reflecting Jesus when we are putting these principles into action. So, the bottom line of this message today, the ABCs of parenting, they're simple concepts, but they are not easy. Parenting is hard. But if we take these little principles and we put them into action by just showing up for our children and showing affection and being present and cheering them on, we can raise kids who feel secure in being loved and secure in the purpose of who they are. You guys can go ahead and close your eyes and bow your heads. Jesus, thank you so much for allowing us to be here today and just be together and be a family and learn that you love us no matter what. And that this parenting made simple is a reflection from you and something that we can model from you. And I ask that you be with us today, keep us safe, and just help us to know that if we mess up, it's okay. And we can give our kids that same grace. And I just ask that you, if there's somebody here today that this is their first time hearing about you, and they're like, okay, well, you say that's pretty simple, but following this Jesus thing sounds pretty hard. I don't even know how to start that. We also do the ABCs and Cross Kids of salvation, and they're super simple. This is truly a simple way. Is admit that we've messed up, believe that Jesus died on the cross and came back 3 days later, and commit to a life of loving Jesus and others. It's that simple, and it's done. So if you have prayed that prayer for the first time, and it's something like, Jesus, I know I've messed up, and I know that you love me, and I want you to be in my life, you can raise your hand, and we would like to celebrate with you today. Jesus, thank you so much for, once again, just bringing us together and letting us have this time and have fun, and to let others know that learning about you is fun, and that seeing it through the eyes of a child is exactly how you want us to do that. In Jesus' name we pray. We love you and we thank you. Amen. All right, guys.